recording. Hi, welcome everyone. This is Geva Salerno, and this is another fearless conversation with Nikki Anarado. I'm going to share with you a couple of things about myself, and then I'm going to introduce Nikki, who is a dating preparation coach. And she is going to tell us some amazing, awesome things tonight about preparing for dating. So I'm Geva Salerno. I am a writer, and I'm the founder of Over 40 Fearless and Free, an international women's movement of over 10,000 members worldwide. You can find us on Facebook. Again, I'm a writer and I live in Southwest Florida, and I believe that women over 40 can live happy, juicy, fulfilling lives. I'm interested in the intersection of science, spirituality, and psychology, but mostly personal growth. I'm a lifelong learner with degrees in biochemistry and international policy, and also a certified yoga instructor. Over at Over 40 Fearless and Free, we are working to change the world by helping women to become happier. We inspire women to recognize their own value, power, and potential in order to create a life they love. Because when women are happy, they impact the lives of everyone around them. And now, allow me to introduce my guest, Nikki Anarado. She is a dating preparation coach. She has 11 years experience in this field. She's a certified professional coach, and she will help you to upgrade your dating experience and go from overwhelmed to cool, confident, and collected.
Absolutely.
So with that, let me introduce Nikki and see if she wants to add anything else about her professional background.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. As you stated, I've been doing this work for over 11 years. I'm very excited about working with women. It's something that I absolutely love and adore. What I do in my company and with my clients is, I prepare and position women to be pursued, pampered, and prioritized. Right? The goal is to get that from quality men, plural. Women need options so you can choose the best fit, right? And doing all of this without living in fear of repeating your past. All right. So my clients have included therapists, counselors, doctors, lawyers, Google executives, the list goes on and on. So I'm very, very excited to continue this work. I mean, principals, teachers, social workers. So it's just women just like you, entrepreneurs, coaches, authors, just women just like you that have been single, that are wanting to figure this part of your life out once and for all. Dating is not the same. It'll probably never be the same. It's not how it was when we were in college now. It's not the same. There's a lot of frustration going on out there. So my goal is to streamline the process, minimize the frustration, and just get what you want. It's time to put the joy back into dating. So very excited for this opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
So Nikki, you help single professional women. Before we get into the professional side,
Yes.
Let me ask you about specifically about what it's like for women over 40 who are dating. Are there specific challenges? I know I could name a few being over 40, but I don't want to hog the stage with that. So what challenges have you found in your clients over 40?
Yes, 100%. Thank you for that question. I really do target this age group. My age group that I most frequently work with is 35 to 55, 60. So the medium point is 45 with that, So what the common thread is that there's a few things. One is that men in this stage of their life, a lot of times single men, they're not really understanding how best to connect with professional women. They seem very confused. They come off very unclear and unintentional. Like, they're wanting to, a lot of times it seems from my vantage point, from the feedback that I get from the women who are attempting to date now, is that men are desperately trying to preserve their own feelings, their own ego, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, I'm not a man, but they're trying to do something to self-preserve, and it's coming off not very great to the women that are out there trying to date. So that's one thing that shows up in a lot of ways, where men are really pressing the whole casual, connection, rather than even considering anything more at the beginning. It's just like, all right, let me see what I can get, kind of thing. And it's extremely frustrating for women. Extremely frustrating because you work so hard in your life, you got yourself together, you're accomplished, you've raised your kids, you're a respectable woman in the community, and to do whatever it is it takes to build up the courage. Like you mentioned earlier, it takes courage to put your little picky toe out there and try something new, and then you're met with a flood of a bunch of men. They're just like, you know what I mean? It's like, it can be very off-putting. It can make a woman just shut the doors on the whole process,
because the men are coming from the wrong place.
Yes, they're coming from the wrong place. And it's almost as if they don't understand that the process it will have to take to get there a lot of times. And they don't want to go through the process. They just want to get straight to their goal, right? A man's goal and a woman's goal is not always the same. We're driven by different things. We're not the same. So understanding that is a lot. We spend a lot of time in my program understanding the differences, respecting the differences, and it allows women to show up differently so they can get different results. So they get less of that casual craziness, and get men that are actually understanding the time that it will take to get what they want.
So you've got the men who are confused.
Mm-hmm.
And having a lot of different things going on in their heads. And then would you say that the women are coming into it confused, or having maybe multiple different objectives or values competing?
Oh, that's a great.
Sometimes.
I really love that question. Not a lot of women are willing to even explore the possibility that there might be some confusion there on their side. So yes, I absolutely see that in the work that I do. It might not be present, like the women aren't always aware, but once they do the self-evaluating work, which is really all that I do, is help women self-evaluate. All we can control is ourselves, where we show up, how we show up, what we're saying out our mouth, how we think, and we'll know that the way that we change, the way that we show up affects the world around us. Just like you said in your intro, it's the truth. It affects everything that we touch, and we are extremely influential, forces, on this earth. So understanding that is extremely important. But yes, women not really taking the time to explore what they really want is the number one thing that I see.
Yeah. So
Number
you have to clarify a bit.
Oh, yes.
A lot of it's clarifying.
Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of time, sometimes it takes longer than women think to really get to the bottom of that.
So if you're just tuning in with me, this is Geva Salerno. I'm here with Nikki Anarado, who is a dating preparation coach. And in a little while, she's going to share 3 tips to preparing for dating again after 40. So stick with us for that. You mentioned the thought process a little bit. Would you say that you have to, we use this word a lot in the group, you have to really dig into the mindset and figure out what's going on and create a good positive mindset for dating too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So mindset is extremely important. I think, yeah, with the work that you do, absolutely, like encouraging and uplifting and empowering women is all about mindset, right? And not much is different here in this case, right? Because once again, the way we show up is really affected based on what we have committed to as far as what we think, right? Whether it's the way that we think about ourselves or what we think about our conditions or what do we think about the environment or what we think about other people. So in that in that lane, I've identified 5 mindsets that absolutely kill connections on site.
Oh,
Yes. So if a woman identifies with any of these mindsets, likely you want to overcome them. You want to look into them a little bit so that your connections will thrive. So yeah, I call them connection killers, and I can share them if you're interested. You curious?
yes, absolutely. Share them. I'm wondering if you have them written down somewhere as well, that maybe you could um, share a document with somebody if they were to perhaps put their email in the chat. Like,
Oh yeah, I'll be happy to do that. Absolutely. I talk about connection killers all the time because that's just how important they are. You know, like I said, I've been doing this work for a while now, spoken to thousands of women and men, okay, to understand how women are showing up and what is likely to shut a man down as far as connection goes.
okay, so if you want the 5 connection killers, put your email in the chat, either on Facebook or YouTube, and we will get the document to you. The 5 connection killers. What
Yeah.
are they?
Number 1 is the mindset that there's not enough quality men.
Mm. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that a person's right or wrong. I don't need to see the stats. Like I
Right.
don't need to see any of that. I get it. I know it feels very much like there isn't enough. You know, I understand that's probably what a woman's experience is, but it's not every woman's experience.
Yeah, and what you think is what you get.
Oh yeah, majorly. If you can imagine what that looks like in real life, if a woman is going to an event and she's always telling herself, there's not enough quality men. There's just he's probably married, he's probably taken, all this kind of stuff. You go into a room and the quality men are there, but that mindset will keep you from being the level of open that you would need to be to draw a connection in. So that's connection killer number 1.
Okay.
Connection killer number 2 is the men I like won't ask me out.
Oh, oh, I had that one. I had that one. I think I might still be working on it. I don't know.
It's all right. It's okay. I know. I get it. So it's a real thing. And this one is quite common. It's a real thing. And it's probably like really a woman's experience. Like, why is it only the guys that are the most persistent that get my attention? Why is it that, I'm only ended up with guys that I'm not really attracted to. Like, why does that keep happening? And the guys that I like, I'm invisible to them. Like, what's wrong? You know?
But Nikki, it's really self-esteem, isn't it? It's like saying I'm not worthy of what I want. And that like
Man.
that nugget of that thought, that belief that is somewhere down there is driving that. It's so horrible. I've suffered from that one, but I think I'm
Yes,
getting
it's a
better.
real thing. It's a real thing. And as I always say, it's a journey, right? And I'm just always grateful and honored, you know, from the women that choose to take this journey, you know, along with me. It is a journey. We're all growing. We're all wanting to do a little bit better and have better results, right? But guess what? If these connection killers are control and just like you're over it, you're past it. Just imagine how big the world will be for you. How much control you will have over who you spend your time with.
Yeah,
You have the pick of the litter,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
available
That's
for
what it becomes.
everybody. Yeah, it'll
Get in
be.
a candy store.
It's amazing. That's what my clients are experiencing now. It's literally amazing. So yes, that is connection killer number 2, and that's one that that does take time to overcome, but it doesn't mean that it can't be overcome. So cool. That's number 2. Number 3 is the most common connection killer. This one is most common. Okay, it's difficulty trusting. All right. Yeah, yes. I mean, yeah. I'm a human being too. So these are connection killers that you know, you have to continuously have an alternative mindset. You have to have an alternative way that you're choosing to show up in every given situation. And that's something that's learned over time. And you have to implement it and then get results out of it. That's when you know you have kind of control over it, right? But the thing with that is how you know this is you is if how you know this is you is if you're showing up in situations, right, that might cause some vulnerability, right, might be very uncomfortable, and in that moment you are choosing to protect yourself rather than express yourself.
Mm, so good. Yeah,
Yeah,
so true.
that's how you know that difficulty trusting is a challenge. All right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means that it'll be way easier to connect if that were the reverse. If you were more willing to express yourself and you trust yourself and your ability to communicate and you actually believe that you can get what you want through your communication. Yeah. That will open it. You see how each of these connection killers is like if you get on the other side, or you can you can feel the world just open up, just in the
Mhm.
thought of you feeling showing up differently. All right, so that's connection killer number 3. Connection killer number 4. People laugh and chuckle at this one. The word submit makes me cringe.
Yeah, that's a little cringeworthy. Submit, huh?
The
Okay.
word submit makes me cringe.
How do you mean that?
All right. So how you know this is your connection killer is if if it's been pretty common in your past or in your dealings with men that you know a woman's felt like she's had to be in a driver's seat a lot. And it's hard to really imagine, like, for real, like, you want me to submit to you for what? You know, like, what can you what can you do that I can't do, kind of thing. Like all of that those thoughts. I'm not saying it's wrong. Like none of this stuff is wrong. None of this is, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that any of these thoughts are wrong. I'm just saying that those mindsets create a barrier between men and women.
So what are your thoughts on that about submission or who should be in the driver's seat? Can you elaborate a
Mm.
little bit on
Oh
that?
yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, because that also helps me paint a picture as to what I do, which is different from, I think, what might already be out there, is that I'm a guide. You know, I'm not one to like dictate what is going to work, what's not going to work, what you need to be doing. I'm a guide, right? I bring to the surface what a woman actually wants for her future, right? The thing of it is, at the root of it all, most women really are tired. Most women at this stage they're tired. They don't want to do everything on their own.
Sure.
It's like, oh, I'm sick of this, you know. This ain't what it's all cracked up to be. You know, I want to be able to share this responsibility. I don't want the weight all the way on me all the time. I want to be able to share this load. Most women I speak to, when they're honest, that's what's going on. Some aren't there, and that's totally okay. No right or wrong. All I'm saying is, sometimes let's just make sure that your thoughts and your experiences are congruent. That's it. So if deep within yourself you're feeling like, I want to release some of this, I want someone else to take the lead on this, it's okay to feel that way. But what's not okay is to show up and be like, I got it, I don't need you.
Interesting.
So it's not my job to determine whether or not that's right or wrong. I'm not a judge. I have no personal stake in it. It's not my opinion that matters. It's just, if you want something, you have got to shape your life. You have got to, like you said, shape your mindset. The mindset that's going to allow you to get it. And so it sounds simple. The solution sounds simple. You know, just pick a man that you can trust. But if that mindset is so deep ingrained, then it won't happen, because that connection killer will be what the man is meeting.
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense?
interesting. So we're at number 4 of the
Yeah.
of the connection killers.
Yes, ma'am. So number 5, the 5th connection killer, is my way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have all of them.
And let me tell you something, that's very common. Don't feel some kind of way. It's extremely, extremely common. And I've handpicked these because there's so many other things that people can throw out there, la, la, la. But I've handpicked these because these are very common ones but I'm telling you, once you get a handle on them and flip them, oh my God, that's just one of the areas, and there are other things too that will change your dating experiences for forever, okay? Or your connection with men in general. So number 5 is like a cousin of number 4, okay? So it's a cousin. Number 4, when we talk about submission, is like if there's a concern about submitting to a man, it's just like, for what? That's that. Number 5 is more of like, in general, a woman is really committed to the way that she does things. The way that she does things is paramount, is right. Doing things another way is very difficult. If she's had to work in teams, she needs to be the leader. She needs to be the one, like, you all fall in line with what I got in mind. I'm not adjusting, I'm not budging. And that's just the way in general she shows up. All right?
Yeah, so actually, we're getting a little feedback here. Do you have Facebook on, maybe?
Mm-mm.
Turn that off. No?
Let me see.
I shut them all off. Anyway, so the submission thing, you're not suggesting always submitting to what a man wants or anything. You're talking about coming to an equal place.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes allowing the man to lead, and sometimes you lead, and not, and like number 5, not trying to lead all the time.
Right. So, and again, you're right on target, because it's not even about what I think is best. It's more of like, what's going to get you the results, right? At the end of the day, we all know that men have that quality about them where they definitely need to lead. It's not a want, it's not even an option. They need to lead in a household for them to feel accepted, to feel loved, to feel trusted. They need that. Even if they never say it, they need it. So with that in mind, it's important for women to understand how they're going to show up. What is it that a man can lead in your life? You know, what area do you want that leadership? Are you actually capable of allowing it to happen? And again, I'm not going to be there when those interactions are happening, and you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be around. So it's like I don't. It's really up to each individual woman to just have a self-assessment and just have a true, honest talk with herself and say, you know what? I'm not used to that. It's been a long time since I've been in a relationship with someone. It's been a long time since I've lived with someone, since I've shared responsibilities with someone. So I might not show up that willing to allow someone to lead, even though I say deep within that I don't want to do everything on my own for the rest of my life.
Good.
Yeah.
It's getting good here. Share with us, actually, I have two questions. One is about why women, and especially professional women, women in business, why they should even consider being in relationship again. I know for myself, I stopped dating what I thought was going to be for 1 year in 2012, and it stretched way longer and took me quite a while to get back to it. And for a while, after a while, I started to question why I would even want to be in a relationship. So I know that that's something that you think about and talk about, is the benefits to love in business.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's they're there. It's just sometimes because of past experiences, you know, past hurts, past things that, you know, we just wish we didn't have to go through. It creates an environment in us to make us just feel like, what's the point? You know, if that's what it looks like, if that's what I have to deal with, I don't want it, you know, kind of thing. And I totally understand that 100%. One of the things that I speak to women about as they prepare to get on a call with me to kind of work through things is how can having a husband enrich your life? How can having a partner, a man in your life, how can it enrich your life? And I provide some questions or answers that they can probably try to explore. One of which could be having support.
Yeah.
You know, I work with very busy professional women that are out here just killing the game out here, just wearing so many hats. I don't know how, you know, we all just do it. I mean, I don't know. They have children, they got a business, they got a full-time job. They're the pillar of their, you know, their families. It's over the top. It'll be nice, they tell me, you know, to come home and have somebody guaranteed to be there to look at you and say, yeah, are you good? What do you need? How can you be poured into? Right? And of course, you'll be that same source for your partner. All right. So after like kind of thinking about it that way, women are just like, you know, yeah, that would be nice. You know, there's that emotional standpoint, right? But then there's also the standpoint of actually like in your business, in your vision, in your purpose, having somebody that is like your cheerleader. That's like, you go out there, honey. You get that thing, you know, so that you're just not always having to encourage yourself, basically, right? Because sometimes friends and family don't always get it, you know. So having a partner that's committed to your goals is something that women, after thinking about it, they will want to be open to again. Couple other examples. There are more, but I'll just list maybe two more. There's a whole thing about children, right? Yeah, we're in our 40s, yes. So some of us have younger children that could benefit from having a male influence in the home. But then there are also, for those that have older children, like for me, in my case, I have a 20-year-old, then, you know, just having that male influence, even in their life, you know, whether or not you have an active father figure for your children is never enough that, you know, kids can really benefit from having a positive male influence. And then also your kids seeing you be loved is good too. And the last one that women don't always think about, but when I bring it up, they're like, oh, is emergency contact. If anything happens at any given time, you know, I know, you know, some of us still have our parents around, some of us have our cousins, our sisters and everything like that, but these people have their own families that they're, you know, taking care of. Okay, so it'll be, you know, having that person that's guaranteed, committed to you and assigned to your well-being is something that can be extremely valuable too.
Ah, good list.
Thank you.
So, Nikki, we talked about maybe doing 3 tips to preparing
Yes.
for dating.
Yes.
But I also want to touch on the subject of creating boundaries and how important that is in dating. So, do you mind talking about the boundary issue, and then we'll get into the 3 tips?
Absolutely. Yeah, we talk a lot about boundaries in my program, and when I'm working with the clients, it's extremely important, boundaries. I take it a step further because a lot of times we talk about boundaries. Oh, we have to do this. All right, yeah. Let's take it a step further though, because there's a reason why this discussion is always circulating, and I think it's because, unfortunately, in the female community, it's almost looked down upon for women to be clear about what it is that they want and what they will and won't do, right? And, you know, also men honestly can make us feel uncomfortable about being clear about what we will and won't do. So I spend a lot of time helping women develop boundaries in dating and how to communicate them effectively, okay? Speaking to other females about boundaries and what you will and won't do is different from speaking to a man, okay? So the goal here is to actually get results, right? So they're just kind of exploring that, and then also enforcing the boundaries. It's one thing to tell somebody what you will and won't do, and it's another thing to actually enforce it.
Yeah.
There's something that I like to say real quick. I'll just say this. And this can be one of the 3 tips actually. Maybe I'll come back to it when you're ready for that. But boundaries are extremely, extremely important. And that will be, how do I want to word this? A woman's boundary and her ability to communicate and enforce them successfully, that is what puts the respect level. Ooh.
It sure does.
And the casual encounters and all this stupid stuff that men, ooh, that goes down. Yep, boundaries are extremely important. Yep.
And would you say that if a woman is not clear about boundaries, doesn't really understand how to set them, how to enforce them, that could lead to some of the fear around dating, because there's like this, everything's too open and overwhelming and scary. But when you have an understanding of boundaries, this is what I want, this, you know, this is okay, this is okay, this is not okay,
Yeah.
then you feel like you are more prepared to deal with dating, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I get it. Showing up kind of willy-nilly out here is not the best approach at all. A woman could have the boundaries in her mind, and then when she's in a situation, it's like, oh my God, I thought I would never do that again. Oh my God, I said I wasn't going to do. Oh, and so that can add to confusion, trust in herself,
Right.
to be able to actually stand in the boundaries is definitely a factor. Also balancing the boundaries with making sure that the connection killers are handled, the defense mechanisms, you know, all those things need to be addressed. Because it's like the boundaries can be set and you can say, I'm not doing that. No, 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 no. All this no, no, no going on, right? But if that's not balanced with the things that will actually draw quality men in, then guess what a woman's left with? A whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Because all that's coming to you is the nonsense, and that you're just going to keep saying no, 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 no. But you need another part of that to actually draw what you want in, and that's how how you do that is overcoming connection killers and defense mechanisms and all that good stuff.
So good. So Nikki's going to share 3 tips to preparing for dating. If you haven't dated in a while, these are 3 tips that can help you. And then we're going to talk a little bit about her program, but I want to mention now, while I'm thinking about it, that Nikki wants to offer a half an hour phone call consultation about dating to the first 5 people who sign up, who put their email in the comments here, or who connect with her through social media and mention that you watched this fearless conversation and would like to take advantage of the offer. So first 5 people to enter the email or connect, she is going to give a half hour phone consultation about dating and dating preparation. So Nikki, what are the 3 tips to preparing for dating?
Yes. This has been an exciting experience. I love speaking about this stuff, and I can't wait to meet each of you that qualify for the 30-minute call. The 3 tips about dating, preparing to date. First and foremost, overcoming fear. You got to be willing to explore what you're afraid of and face that dragon. Because if you don't do it in your single season, it will rear its ugly head while you're out there dating. So, that'll be in the midst of the possibility of having physical encounters with somebody, developing emotional attachment, all this stuff, and then you're still dealing with the fear that you could have overcome in your single season, right?
What are some of the common fears that women have around dating?
Oh my God. The most common fears include infidelity, being alone, choosing the wrong partner, rejection. Let's see here. Abuse, disrespect. Those are some of the most common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tip number 1, dive into that fear.
Gotta get past the fear.
Couldn't
All
have
right.
said it better myself.
Tip number 2 is obviously we talked a great deal about the connection killers. You got to overcome those connection killers. You got to show up differently. Got to replace those mindsets with constructive mindsets, right? And like I always say, the proof is in the pursuit. Okay? So you can't just stop at saying, all right, Nikki, I'm good. I started that online profile. No, that's not. Doesn't mean anything. The proof is in the pursuit. Who is pursuing you? Are you excited about who's pursuing you? Does it meet your standard, right? So that's number 2. In order to get that pursuit going on, I guarantee you have to overcome your connection killers. That's what's in the way. Okay? Number 3, we're going to circle back to the boundaries piece, and I'm going to leave you with a special tip. With the boundaries piece, ladies, please stop telling men all willy-nilly what your boundaries are.
Ooh, that's good. Show, right? No.
Yes. You gotta show it. Let me tell you what's happening out here. Men are not believing a word that we're saying at all.
Okay.
I do this work, I speak to hundreds of women like a month. I speak to so many different women. And I don't even believe them. From one conversation, I can tell what's really going on. And so, and I'm not dating women. Please understand, I don't date women. So you know that men date women. So they can see right through us. We're not fooling nobody. So make sure that in your single season, you are building up whatever self-discipline you need, whatever it is that you need to stay true to your own boundaries. As I say, don't cheat on yourself.
Ooh.
Don't give your power away. All right. So that is what increases respect. So everything that I just listed, if you take care of these things before you attempt to put your pinky toe out there, get online and all this kind of stuff and get the lashes and get, real cute and everything like that, before you do all that stuff, handle these things, get clarity on these things, feel confident around these areas, and I guarantee you will stand up so far above the rest of the women that are out there, because women are not willing to do this work. And so as you're listening to this, if you're just like feeling uncomfortable in your seat and you felt yourself moving around a lot, I'm just like, oh my God, you got distracted trying to do something else, it's probably because this is, it's piercing you some kind of way. And it pierces a lot of women. And they don't want it, they just want to run away and not do this stuff and just get cute and go out there. All right? But I'm telling you that if you do this work and overcome this stuff, I promise you, men will be falling at your feet, period, because most women are not showing up this way.
And Nikki, you help women walk through this process as well.
Oh, 100%. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my goal is to hold your head through this process so you never feel alone. And from day one, you're going to be interacting with other women that are right there with you, right? So you're hearing their wins. You're hearing how they implemented what they've learned, how they're able to attract men on demand now where they've never been able to do it before. And you're hearing their stories. So it's great. That's one of the most favorite things about the experience that women share is knowing that they're not alone.
Fantastic. Share with us this challenge that you have coming up, Make Room for Boaz challenge. What is that?
Oh my gosh, thanks for asking about that. It's a 5-day Make Room for Boaz challenge, right? It's very exciting. So what that is if anybody has heard of the story of Ruth, the book of Ruth in the Bible, okay? So it's the story where it's like a really short book. It's only 4 chapters, okay? But the story in the Christian community is that, Ruth was, just like a peasant woman and ended up landing like the most eligible bachelor in the land, right? And that's something that a lot of Christian women say just in casual conversation, that they're just waiting for their Boaz, I'll just sit and wait and be a godly woman, and then my Boaz will just show up, right? And so
what is Boaz?
Boaz is the name of the man that she eventually marries. Okay, so Boaz, that's his name. Okay, so he was a very prominent figure in the community, wealthy, had a lot of land, employed a lot of people, and she just so happened to land him basically as her husband. All right, and so there's just this whole thing about, in the Christian community, like, I'm just waiting for, I'm not really settling for less, I'm just gonna wait on him, which is fine. But there's a lot of myths to dispel about that story, okay? So Ruth was extremely action-oriented. She was strategic in her approach to getting pursued, okay? And that's what Prepare to Be Pursued is based on, is all about. And let me tell you something, this stuff works today. It's not something that it will ever go out of style. Men will be men, women will be women, thank God. So it never will stop. The things that women do to attract and keep the attention of a man and be respected by that man, and have that man lose his mind over her. You know, whatever he needs to do, he's just going to figure it out. But it requires a woman to show up in a certain kind of way. A lot of it we talked about already in the Connection Killers, okay? So it's just in those 5 days, we explore those things a little bit deeper. We explore the Connection Killers, and we also explore like legitimately, like the things that Ruth did to get Boaz's attention, and how those same things can be applied today, like translated into 2021 times. And women leave with a huge awakening of how they can be showing up, different to get different results. So,
how long is the challenge?
5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in June?
I'm thinking of doing it in May, but women can definitely sign up for the wait list. I can provide everyone with the link. Yeah, I can definitely do that. So everybody will have an ability to sign up if they're interested.
All right, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we will put all of the links to both the Make Room for Boaz challenge and all of Nikki's connection links in the notes here, the video notes below. And if you are interested in doing a half-hour phone consultation with Nikki for free, the first 5 people to sign up are going to get a free half-hour consultation. So we will have room for that in the notes, and we will have a link to sign up to be on the wait list for the Make Room for Boaz challenge. Is there anything else that you might like to share before we sign off, Nikki?
I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for this platform, for this opportunity to share with your audience. It's amazing. I really love the work that I do. I love working with women. So this is great. Hopefully, we took away some little nuggets, And I'm also looking forward to speaking to the women that want to take advantage of the 30-minute session. So thanks again.
And I forgot to ask.
Sure.
Can you share with the audience what your home state is, where you work, and then whether they can work with you virtually or in person or what? Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm located in Ellicott City, Maryland. I do 99.9% of my services online. So through Zoom is likely how I'll be connecting to women initially. For women that are local, I do offer experiential outings where we'll go out together, and I'll assess some of the social, the way a woman interacts socially and kind of challenge her in that way. It's really important for women to feel like they can shine in social settings whenever she feels like it, especially for introverts. I'm an introvert. So for us introverts out there, we have to be selective as to how we show up and show out, because we get exhausted easily with all that. But it is important for us to be intentional about that. So yeah, that's definitely an option too.
Well, thank you so much, Nikki, for all of these amazing tips and information. I think it was really helpful for our audience. Yay. And please, everyone, connect with Nikki. Reach out to her if you have any questions, and connect and friend requests and all of that stuff. And thank you for being with us for another Fearless Conversation, everyone. We will see you here same time next week. And everyone, take good care. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome. Good night, everybody.